only because I know this is something that's gonna come up at some point. I feel like it's appropriate. I just go ahead and just put it all out there. What's my story? What is going on with me? Um, well, some people know I go by the real LG, and that's really more of a previous gang rap name that I had at a certain time in my life. So I just stuck with it pretty much on everything. And my actual name is Greg, and I I really, was more of a G, like call me G, okay? I don't really want to be called Greg, like Greg from the Brady Bunch or something, because you know that's just not cool. But nonetheless,
Mine since 93, it ain't hard to see. You standing in front of me means you in front of a G. In reality, the real on the streets.
only because I know this is something that's gonna come up at some point. I feel like it's appropriate. I just go ahead and just put it all out there. What's my story? What is going on with me? Um, well, some people know I go by the real LG, and that's really more of a previous gang rap name that I had. And I was born to a middle class family, basically, at least a middle class uh, as far as money goes, you know. But we stayed in the hood because we had cheap parents. My parents were very cheap. Yeah. But anyway, so let me see. At the beginning, I was the result of a um adulterous relationship that my father had with my mother. Uh, so I don't know if you don't know what that means. That just simply means, ladies and gentlemen, my dad was cheating on his wife with my mother. As a result, bada boom, bada bing. Here I am. I'm here. So, hello world, and thank you for having me. So, anyway, yeah, that happened. So then she wasn't really feeling being a mom, and she felt pretty adamant about uh living her life and being her best self. Man, my mom was all about free spirits. She was all about, you know, this is all I got, so I gotta live it like that. And she did. And she did to the fullest. So much so that she'd leave uh, two toddlers and a 4-year old at the house themselves to fend for themselves while she went out and hit the clubs. So, yeah, you know, probably not the best example of mother of the year, but this was the beginning. And the old dude, obviously wasn't going to leave his not so crazy wife that he had, plus two kids, for someone of the caliber of and the beliefs and morals of my mother. And for whatever reason, as smart as she was, she never got that fact. He just wasn't going to leave his wife for her. So he decided, okay, I'm finna go ahead and cut you off because you got way too many male cousins coming out of town, popping in, popping out, blase, blase. Fast forward, when she came to this realization that the old dude just wasn't gonna leave his wife and there was absolutely no future with my father. Plus, he decided to drop off 2 kids in the process of their relationship, which was me and my little brother. She said, well, I still want to live my life. I still want to do what I want to do, but I ain't finna sit here and be responsible for these kids. And that's when she decided one fateful day to drop us off at the foster home. And I think I was 4, and my little brother was 3. We really close in age, by the way. But they I don't know if it's still the law to this day, but back then they had to get consent from the father, the legal father. And that same day when she dropped me and my brother off, uh, the social worker called my dad at work and let him know, hey, yeah, your kid's mother just dropped off your 2 boys here, and we're in the process of processing them and placing them in foster care. And then they will, at that point, be residents of the state. And yeah, sir, just letting you know. And so, and then so the old dude, in his words, this is his words, I don't know, but I have no reason to believe that it's not true. But according to my dad, he told the very nice social worker, to the hell you finna put my boys into foster care, and promptly left work and came and picked us up. And the rest is history from there, really. He I guess you could say my very first hero was my dad. He if I've had a multiple people in my life to where I can say that they saved my life, or at least saved me to the point to where maybe I was going in a direction that I wasn't gonna be good. So my dad was the first person ever in my life to do that. So shout out to you, Dad. Love you. And then so after that, the old dude, he met another woman that, well, clearly he had got a divorce after having to grab 2 boys that he had out of wedlock. So I didn't mention that because I just figured that didn't need to be said. So that was, I thought that pretty much went without saying. So yeah, he got a divorce. Uh, he on his own. He got 2 boys. Babies too. We were babies. So and then on top of that, he still has a 40-hour-a-week job that he has to do. So that's when we kind of went back and forth between multiple different women that he was dating at that time. But ultimately, it led to he ended up meeting who eventually became his second wife, I think right around my 5th to 6th birthday. And this woman ended up becoming my legal mother. Still to this day, she's my legal mother.
Wow!
On my birth certificate, because she adopted us, me and my little brother. And with that adoption, my last name changed to my father's name. So, in all things that happen, I never think there's coincidences. I honestly believe things happen for a reason, and I think that's what it was when the custody of me and my brother went from my birth mother to my now legal mother, because I got my last name. I got my dad's last name, so that was a blessing.
Wow!
Also, so things fast forward just a little bit further, and we were gifted a house down on the west side, and my dad being the jack of all trades, he was able to fix it up really nice, and we had we portrayed the image of a family that was doing okay, and that's because we was, but we were still staying down in the depths of the hood, off
Wow!
off of Page and where Page and Kings Highway meet. So if anybody knows that area, even to this day, it's not ideal child rearing area. So nonetheless, we for about a year or two went to regular schools that was around the area. This was dissatisfactory to my then and now legal mother, and so she took advantage of a program that they was running in the city called the discrimination.
No!
Hold on, what was it? Uh, the It's like it was, what was it? The DSEG program. That's what it's called. Desegregation program is basically the long version, where they take black kids and they bust them out with the white people. And so we got involved into that program, and that's where we went to school up until like seventh grade. But the bad part about that was that I saw none but white people all day long. So when I came home and I got to play around with my friends and stuff, on certain stuff there was a little bit of a disconnect because I didn't quite understand where they were coming from on stuff that they would say, because uh, they went through different things and saw different things than I did on a regular day basis. Uh, but nonetheless, I still fell victim, me and my brother, to the same issues that runs rampantly to kids that stay in the inner city or the ghetto or hood or whatever you want to call it. We would all the time get $20 from the doughboys. They say, "Hey man, run this pack right up to this street, give us an address." We knock on the door, they open the door, take it from us, and boom, we thought we were just doing favors and getting some little candy money. You know what I mean? All along, we were doing. I think that's what. I think that's a B felony right there.
Ow!
Uh, Obviously, nothing ever came of that, but I can say that rubbed off on us to the point to where eventually when my dad divorced, because let's just say my dad's not a very, very good married man. Um,
Yeah!
Not even because he cheats on all women, just that he's just a loner. I think he's just a loner. That's my opinion. You got to go ask him. You got to go ask him if you really want the real facts. But nonetheless, they divorced. The eventual outcome of that meant that I moved from the city at around 12 or 13, and now I'm out here. That's when I ended up in Jennings. And anybody that knows Jennings, it's a beast. So I took a lot of my bad habits out there, and my brother did too. And as a result, we stayed in a lot of trouble, whether it was fights,
Yeah!
you know, crime stuff that I'm not going to get into the details of. There was quite a bit of illegal activity going on. I fortunately did not get caught up in most of it. I did a couple years, I guess, here and there collectively for gun charges and stuff like that. I was fortunate not to ever get caught up on drugs, uh, although maybe I should have. I never got caught up on anything worse than that. Uh, my brothers, they wasn't so fortunate, but we were all living the same life, so it could have happened to any one of us. And that is basically the getting caboodle. I basically summed up my life, at least to my teen years. Maybe I'll elaborate on that in later recordings